So many parents complain and they tell me that our child is just so stubborn. He's so disrespectful, she's so close-minded, they just don't listen. What do we do with a child like that? I don't know where that came from. We were so obedient with our parents. What has happened to this generation? And my question is, why should they listen to you? Well, we are the parents. We are the authority. Of course they should listen to us. But why? Well, so they can have a better life. And what does a better life mean? Well, they can have more happiness and success, and they can avoid pain and misery and suffering. Okay, so let's conclude that if the child listens to you, that can lead to more happiness and less suffering. So in other words, the child should listen to you so they can have some benefits and they can avoid some harms. So my question is, why don't you just introduce the child directly to the benefits and harms? Why have you become the gatekeeper of the whole situation that you listen to us and that will lead to some good? Just tell the child, do this and this will lead to this. You do A, B, C, D behaviors and it will lead to X, Y, Z benefits. Or you can avoid J, K, L, M harms. You know why parents don't do that? Because it's hard to do. Because for that, you have to talk to the child. You have to reason with the child. You have to listen to their objections and answer them. You have to engage in a debate. And that's tougher. So you're like, who's going to bother with all of that? Let's just tell the child, listen, don't worry about all the details. Your tiny brain is unable to comprehend all of the details. Just follow us and your life will be great. This is a terrible way of parenting. Why? Because in this kind of parenting, the child really doesn't learn anything. Imagine what would happen if you're not there. Imagine if the child has to take decisions on their own. What if you die? They were just used to taking orders from you and following the path. They didn't develop their own worldview. They didn't develop their own value system. So by telling your child, you obey us, you're actually keeping your child weaker. You're actually keeping your child ignorant. So if you want a smart, independent, quick problem-solving child, stop suppressing your child's objections. Stop telling them that you argue too much. Stop telling them that you're not old enough to understand what's really going on. If you treat them like that, they'll stay like that. Then parents tell me, we have tried all of that. We have tried reasoning with the child. That doesn't work. My child is way too stubborn. My child is too disrespectful. My child is just another specimen from another world. Nothing works. So an interesting point, when the child didn't listen to you, when the child didn't agree with you or didn't comply with your orders, you went to the conclusion that the child is too stubborn. Why didn't you make the conclusion that maybe your argument wasn't good enough? Maybe your reasoning wasn't convincing enough. Think about this. It's not like your child is not being influenced at all. Like other people, maybe his friends, maybe his teachers, maybe his neighbor, maybe his cousin. Many people in the world are influencing your child. Your child is a learning being. So maybe the problem is with you. You are unable to paint a good enough picture of your reasoning, of your benefits and harms, that the child is simply not motivated to follow what you're saying. So the solution would be, you need to work harder. You need to learn to paint a better picture in front of your child. So many parents don't put in this hard work. They just try a little bit and then they just get frustrated. They're like, I'm done talking to you. You're impossible. Just do what I'm saying because I'm your father. And if you don't do it, I'm going to cut this off. I'm going to punish you. They just shout at the children. They beat up the children and they just overuse their authority. Parents reach this frustrated stage so quickly that they lose out on the opportunity to learn something new themselves. So earlier I said, if you force your child, you keep the child weaker. And now I'm saying, if you force your child, you also stay weaker because you're taking the easy way out. You're not really challenging yourself intellectually to engage with the child. Punishing your child, shouting at your child and beating up your child won't help you grow. Your growth will come from thinking, wait, what are my child's objections? Let me answer them logically and reasonably. For that, you have to do some homework. You maybe have to go online, read something. Maybe you have to read a book. Maybe you have to talk to other people. Maybe you need to take counseling. And that's real work. So the conclusion is, when the child obeys the parents too much, blindly, the whole family stays weaker, ignorant, and more stupid. Another interesting point, if you have to keep playing the parent card, the experience card, it means that your information is not good enough. You tell the child, listen to me because I am the parent. Listen to me because I have more experience. Why do you have to use the title of parent? Why do you have to use those labels? When you say I have experience, what does that mean? It means that in your life's history, you faced a lot of circumstances and from those you got some good information. That's what experience means, right? So I would say, why play the experience card? Why not give that information directly? I'll give an example. I'm a counseling psychologist and I help couples. But in my own relationship with my girlfriend, I never say to her, listen to me or agree with me because I'm a counseling psychologist. No, I don't do that, and if I did, it wouldn't work either. Basically, whatever I've learned, I have to present that information in that moment, and then it's up to her whether she'll take it or not. It's up to her whether she'll agree with it or not. I don't get any extra points for securing a degree. My information has to be good enough. My information has to be convincing, and that's what you need to do. If your child is not convinced by your argument, you must let them do whatever they want in most cases. Just have this faith that your child is a logical and rational being. They are listening to good reasons. They are seeking knowledge. They are not self-destructive. They are not trying to ruin their own lives. They also want to do better. Have some trust that your child is an intelligent being. By the way, yes, I agree that in certain circumstances, when the situation is really important or it's very urgent, you have to use your authority. You cannot wait for the child to get convinced by you and then you say, listen, we don't have time, or this is too important and you're going to do what we say. But those circumstances must be rare. Those circumstances must not be the rule. They must be the exception. So the basic system of the house is democracy, but there are certain laws as well, and that's how you should run your house as well. So the majority of your parenting should be, you listen to good data, good knowledge, good evidence, good reasons. The culture in your house should not be obeying culture, like you should obey. No, the culture in your house should be, let's seek the best knowledge, and all of us are seekers. You should proudly say to your child, don't listen to me, listen to the best knowledge. And the best knowledge can come from anywhere, from me, from somebody else, from a book, from a 5-year-old child, from a monkey for argument's sake. That way, not only you all learn together, you actually earn more trust with your child, because then you are being realistic. You do all of that and you can call yourself a reasonable parent. Good luck. If your husband or wife overuse their authority and are not really reasonable with your child, show this video to them. Or if you're a child whose parents use a lot of experience card and I'm the parent card, please show this video to them. Thanks for listening to my videos, but if you are dealing with complex issues and your problems are deep-rooted and very painful, then I suggest you should go for counseling. You can find somebody on your own or you can come to us. We now have a team of counselors. So even if I'm unable to work with you personally, you can trust our counselors. They work very hard to help you. You can find our counseling application form in the YouTube description or on our website www.shridharlifeschool.com.